Thank you for having me here. My name is Vaishnavi Prakash, and I did my B.Arch undergraduate from SJB School of Architecture and Planning in Bangalore. And I've scored an AIR of 19 in GATE 2022 exam with a score of 775. Thank you so much, first of all. And I joined Career Avenues actually in November 2022. The exam was in, I actually started preparing for the exam itself. So it's a good 3 months, which is when I had the serious prep. So 2 months, I was also working and freelancing simultaneously. So I joined the live classes and I made sure to attend those classes. And the last 1 month, the entire of Jan, is when I committed entirely for studying for GATE itself. I was freelancing and working part-time, and the classes that I had joined to Career Avenues were for 3 hours a day, which was live. So I made sure that during those 3 hours, I don't miss the classes and I attend those classes regularly. And 45 minutes early in the morning before I start my other work, I used to spend doing some general questions, like maybe general aptitude or some MCQs that were not from any particular topic. Then again later, I would go on to do my part-time job and my freelancing, which thankfully was from working from home. So that was a little flexible for me. And I would again spend an hour, maximum an hour, doing some section-wise and topic-wise based tests that were available from the resources that I had. And then later I would attend a 3-hour class, 2.5 to 3-hour class, and make sure I took down notes and had a structured notes during the class itself. The first thing I did was to have a good look at the syllabus itself. So even while studying, I had stuck the syllabus in front of the wall, which I could stare at and make sure what I know and what I don't. What topics are there in the architecture part, what is there in the common part. I realized that there are a lot of topics overlapping with the common part from the other part A, part B1 and part B2. And I also made sure that I didn't skip out any parts as a whole. So as I said, I was attending the classes. So I made sure to attend even the planning classes. I wrote the architecture part of the exam, but I made sure that I knew what I wanted to attend in the paper itself, which was architecture. So I gave it a little more priority and a little more time when solving the questions and doing the mock exams and all that. But I made sure that I also attended the classes in the planning part, so I know at least a basic outline or at least a basic concept, because a lot of the topics are overlapping with the common part, which had the most weightage in the exam. So that's how I structured my study with the new syllabus.
Okay.
Regarding the theory and the numerical type of questions, a personal preference for me is that I prefer numerical questions because it means less things I have to memorize. And so for the numerical questions, I write down the formulae and I pay specific attention to the units that are there in the numericals, because often they're not. They give a lot of hints to solve the question itself. Even if I forget the formula, the units kind of help me remember it. And for theory questions, it's more of making my own notes and being able to revise these notes at the end of or towards much closer to the exam. So the notes are what help me for both the kind of questions. But like I said, I prefer numericals more, which is than the planning part. And with respect to the resources that Career Avenues provides and the structure, the first 2 months, I couldn't spare a lot more time apart from the 3-hour classes while doing the practice questions. But I made sure that when the mock tests were live, I attended the mock tests that very weekend. So I have the mindset of the exam and how it's going to be. And even the section-wise tests and the other practice tests, I try to attend them as soon as we finish our cover of a topic. And I make sure I even analyze these things after I write them, because there is a very detailed analysis given in the app. I also note down what areas I need to focus and what I don't. And as the last 1 month, that is in the month of Jan, I focused only on solving these questions and making sure I cover as much and different kinds of questions as possible. And I didn't learn any new theory in the last month because I know that it was difficult for me to integrate more than because I wanted to revise and have enough time to prepare for the actual exam. For me, the 3 hours during class itself was a very big and important part of preparation itself, because as the classes were going on, I used to listen and make notes. So I'm learning while the classes is going on. So the 3 hours played a very big role. Apart from that, I spent an hour or two, so 5 hours in a day during when I was also doing my freelance. And when there were no classes, the 3 hours I made sure I spent on solving previous year GATE question papers, which is very important. So these 3 hours, I dedicated it as the exam time. So I made sure that I had no distractions. I got into the mindset of the exam. So apart from these 3 hours, I made sure at least 4 to 5 hours for my revision and practice. The mock tests kind of helped me build the confidence. The first mock test that I attended was, we hadn't completed the syllabus yet. The first mock test, I got somewhere around 30 marks without any preparation. And I remember you, sir, and Sanjay sir also was telling me not to get demotivated because we still have time to prepare. And as I was attending the other mock tests, I could actually see, if I plotted on a graph, it's like an increasing graph of my performance itself. And I know that whatever time and effort I put in is being reflected in the mock tests. So I think 2 days before the exam, I took the last mock test and I realized, okay, this is where I am now. And I am quite happy with it. But right now I want to focus on maximizing the score and make sure I do everything and put in everything in the last moment, so that no matter what on the day of the exam, after the 3 hours, I can't do anything. So in those 3 hours, I have to maximize my score. And I kind of didn't let myself feel nervous. And I said, no, I have to do this. This is the 3 hours that I have to maximize my score. I don't have another chance after this. So that's the thing I was in the last 2 days. I think it's best that we make a list of the resources that are available to us and make complete utilization of these resources. Because CareeraVenues itself has a lot of resources. So it's important to structure and organize them and make sure that we attend the classes. If we have enrolled for the classes, attend them and be very active in those classes. So I used to ask doubts right then and there if I had any, or I used to use the group chat that was available. I used to send strings of doubts to group chat itself. The community is very helpful. So if we have very silly questions also, we're able to be comfortable to just throw it out into the open and people would respond with the solutions. So I made sure I followed that. I had posted solutions of my own. I even asked questions on my own. So it's important to be able to communicate with other people who are preparing with us and utilize the resources fully. That I do owe a lot to CareeraVenues, and I hope the video and this interview is helpful to some others who have similar doubts and are still confused. So thank you, sir.